And hello, everyone. This is Haytham back again. And today's discussion is something probably that you have been wondering, which is how can we leverage events for networking and find new job opportunities? And today we have a wonderful guest, like usual. But this guy is quite different because he is one of my mentors. Today we have Mazen Gader, and he is a strategy and organizational transformational advisor. Currently, he is the well, Mazen, I believe you are the one who can start introducing yourself. How are you?
How are you, Haitham? Thank you for having me. I know I've been supposed to come in last weekend or the weekend before. Apologies again for
That's cool.
being dragged. But yes, Mazen Gadir, I'm a long life student. I've been living in the UAE for the last, 42 years. I'm so glad to be with you. And now I look after the partnership and strategic alliances in IQVIA as a director.
Well, this wonderful chance to have you in my program here, Mazen. And I don't want to waste a lot of everyone's time. I believe most of everyone here watching us have been probably like had a tough day, like you, Mazen, like me, probably at some point. And we want to get close this topic and discuss further about it. So, leveraging events. We have still COVID the post COVID 19 situation. I feel like we are more having more events, and I've been going around Dubai Exhibition Center where more events are still running and exhibitions, and mostly I'm talking about business exhibitions. Many professionals find this a good opportunity to discover further opportunities, when it comes to business and finding a job alike. So we want to point out here your experience. I mean, like, I've been with you, I've been like shadowing you, right? I was seeing you, how you're interacting with professionals, how you're like building trust with them, going running from company to company, building this rapport and build this trustworthy relationship. Now, the first thing people might consider and think about is, why do we have to attend event? Why do we have to be there? What people are they doing out there? So at least I would love to hear your response to this.
So I think, look, I mean, the human interaction is like is very addictive, right? It's definitely something that people love doing. Number one, number two. Don't forget, we are coming out of COVID, so everybody has been blockaded or quarantined at home for so long, and we are not. We are as humans, we are not made for that. We are made to socialize and interact. So what you do normally as soon as you come out of hibernation is you want to speak to somebody, you want to
Right.
talk to somebody, right? And that's the feeling that has been has been overwhelmingly displayed on people's behaviors. You can see that on people's behaviors. What I like about conferences, specifically events, and we are Dubai has broken the record of the number of conferences that they produce and organize. Specifically in healthcare, we are blessed in Dubai to be in a city where the all the companies would come to.
Right.
In healthcare, we have one of the biggest digital healthcare conference in the world. Arab Health is almost number one or two, very closely kind of closely associated with Medica X in Germany, where a lot of companies, 60, 70, 80,000 people come in. This is
Right.
like a beehive. It's a hub for networking, signing deals over 890 million dollar worth of deals that have been signed in the previous Arab Health prior to the COVID-19. So again, conferences, meeting people, getting to know, business cards, right? Networking. I love it.
I
I
love it.
love it.
I agree with you, man. This is like I've been there. I was always like wondering when I was working with different corporates in the past. I mean, like, why would you go there, right? And apparently, it's beyond selling. It's beyond that. It's all about communicating. People want to talk. People want to have a chance, like an air for discussing, to discover something new, to hear the news. Like, you can't find any, like, usually business news. You can't hear these all on media, so you need to be there in the spot discussing these with different managers in different sectors and different domains to understand really what's going on out there. And this is what gets us to another part here, which is how to initiate these conversations. You know, there's not an easy thing that anyone, especially if you were like some sort of an introvert kind of person or an extrovert, believe it or not, they don't know when I'm in such an event, if I'm looking for a new job or if I'm looking for new business opportunities, how can I initiate the conversation with, like, if there was like a stand for IQVIA, a stand for Canon, a stand for HP, how can I initiate a conversation with someone out there and what can we talk about?
And I think that's a very good question. So I look, I mean, if people simplify the process to make it, if you are in back in the days of university, right, and you
Right,
are in around some friends or people that you work with or you study with or you live with, and you want to get to
right,
know them. So I think it always starts with the simplest step. Get to know that person. I know some people might be introvert, as you said, but again, when you raise the level of urgency, when you actually have a couple of targets, you come in, you plan your targets, you want to know, for example, about this company, or you want to get to know more about some of the projects that how you can get acquainted with. This will lead you to open doors with people. And when you open doors with people and you've done a bit of research prior to coming, you can
right,
establish some rapport. If you are an extrovert like myself, then you would find areas that you can attach yourself to those people. If they like
right,
football, or if they've studied in the UK, or if they want to, they watch movies, you can anchor your relationship with the person you talk to through a personal link. If there is no
mm,
personal link, you can always find a strategy to open up the person in front of you through the
right,
organization that they represent. So it's a game. It's like a chess game. You're trying to always find a way to get to know that person and
right,
eventually get to know the company. So you cannot get to open a company's door unless you start knowing the people. And if you're
mm,
an introvert, do your homework. Get to engage maybe with some specific questions about the company. This will open up the door. If you're an extrovert, you can go down to the personal level, right?
mm,
Backgrounds, hobbies, movies, you name it. It might be
right.
just that you like the color of their scarf or the shirt or the shoes, and that will open up a huge dialogue there.
Starting with a small homework is, I think this simplifies everything. If at least I would have a chance to just at least set a target of specific companies that I would love to work with, right? Or would love to initiate conversation with at least, right? Because probably might be more than 50, 60, 100 or 200 companies attending that exhibition. If I will dedicate every day to attend, like reach out 20 companies, that's a great target so far, but at least identify the right company. The first thing, once I'm able to do that, identify who would be there at least. Usually people in marketing and sales would definitely be on the spot. So the second thing I'm gonna do, so know more. Who's there? What do they love? What they would like to talk about? What they're interested about. Now, to make it clear, easy, and simple, identify the industry. Why you're going to that event, right? You definitely it's an industry-related event, and everyone talking about healthcare. If it was a health tech kind of event, right? So it's so simple. If I want to go there, know more what kind of services you have here, what kinds of challenges you are going through, guys. What visions do you have so far? And just at least these are three triggers where you can just initiate a conversation with someone. And the more you make it personal, the more we'll be able to build the bond. And now there's something we have to go next and ask here, which is how to win people's trust and stay connected with them.
Sure, sure, absolutely. And I think it's all about practice, right? Trial and
Mm,
error. When I started with going to not just healthcare conferences. I was
right.
going to Dubai Motors, and there's a car show that used to
Interesting.
happen in Dubai. I used to go to food. I think the Gulf Food was one of the biggest
Yeah.
conferences. There's the real estate conference that they have, or exhibition. I forgot what's it called, but it's one of Cityscape. It's one of
Yeah.
the biggest. So again, you trial and error. So how do you start establishing trust? So what you can do is always there must be an anchor or an area of interest that can pull both people together or the two persons together. Either
Mm,
it could be the domain. So you want to go to a healthcare conference, you definitely know that everybody there wants to talk to somebody from healthcare, from the
right.
healthcare industry. So
Right.
if you are representing a healthcare company, make sure that you also understand the healthcare landscape, the the some of the pain points that you want to bring up in your discussions, whether you're talking to technology companies, vendors, pharma providers, insurance companies. So you need to understand the landscape at which you are able to get that trust, because trust will only be established on transparency and linkage, if there is a linkage and some sort of a relationship that you can build.
Interesting. So the thing is that establishing trust doesn't mean like I have to be there just because I'm into healthcare. I have to be there in healthcare. I can attend any event, right, and just initiate conversations. The more we build conversations, the more we find, the more we will discover ways we can experiment exercises, say conversation or talking or networking. Because there's one of the big challenges that professionals are going through, which is they're trying to network, they're learning networking as a soft skill. Unfortunately, they are unable to apply it. It's okay. Your child could be a great guest with us here. That's absolutely fine. Yeah, being a daddy is not an easy job, right? Especially working from home, man. I know. So back again, whatever you learn about networking, whatever you learn about such soft skills when it comes to conversational skills or communication skills, there's a great chance that you go there and practice it. Okay, the more you practice it, the more you're able to realize, how can I hook this person? How can I get this person's trust? And here, I would love to talk about the second part when it comes to practicing more and more communication, which is approaching with the mindset of sales and finding a job. I mean, I'm someone who's really against this. Don't try to build a connection with people on benefits. Try to build, which is something that you mentioned earlier. We are humans, right? After all, and we want to build that bond always. So acting like I'm here to sell you something, or I'm here to look for a job, it's not like I'm building any kind of communication or network here, or like any kind of bond between this person. As long as I'm connected it with kind of a result that will fit me, right? It's like it's not it's my win only, but nothing to do with that person, and no one loves that. So why do you think this is also wrong?
طيب, I think there is, look, I mean, building the trust and building the bond will always, again, you will have to give something to get something. Don't
Right.
forget. So
Right.
if you are to establish yourself as a trustworthy person in that field, what would make you, what would distinguish you specifically, would be your credibility, your
Right.
connectivity, your perhaps your credentials. You have to find a way that to build trust is to actually envisage your credibility, and people would not trust you if you are not showing any credible reference, credible background, credible knowledge, or even credible a desire to look for
Mm,
knowledge. يعني حتى you
right.
don't have to know everything, but if people is asking for certain support or help, the fact that you are fighting, or you have the desire to run and get some help and support them, that would
Mm,
build your credibility within them, and hence trust will be built, because trust needs a bit of effort to be built, but it will only take one finger to destroy. So trust can be lost in a second. However, building trust is a continuous cycle of efforts and cycle
right.
of evidence, not just effort,
Right.
evidence in your credibility, evidence of your effort and desire, evidence of your genuinity. So if somebody says, okay, how can you help me in this, you are able to go and find help even if you don't know it.
Mm. See, this is the great thing about effective networking. It's not just to take from someone. All right, when we ask someone for a job, we ask someone like to buy from me, like we are taking something from them without giving them a good benefit here. So think about giving before taking. How can you help that person? How can we make this better? Right? If I would approach someone and look for, let's say I'm looking for a job, I would definitely go there and know more about them, what they do, and focus on them, build a bond with the human being next to me. Then think like, how can I add value to this person? The best thing is that identify what challenges they're going through and how you can add value. For me, what I would do next is that I will definitely communicate with this person later after the event, for example, and come up with maybe an article or a solution or my proposal on how can they overcome specific challenges, and that's it. You know, this person this will definitely help me build my credibility in front of that person, and it's like it's more like I gave that person before I take, and definitely to some point this person would trust me, will help me, will help me build a bond with them. They would say like, yeah, Mazen is a trustworthy person, and I like the way he approached me, and he even delivered a solution without even asking him for anything. Definitely, based on the reciprocative law, he would, whenever, like next time I want to ask him for something, this person would definitely be more than happy to support me here. Mazen, I like the points that you have shared so far. I want to ask you just one last thing here. What are your final thoughts about networking and building a rapport when it comes to events and exhibitions in Dubai?
I think. Look, I mean, Nora asked a question in terms of, there's nothing wrong with going and connecting with people and asking them for a job directly, right?
Right.
There's no harm in that. Absolutely, you can go and do that. The idea is, when you attend conferences and you attend exhibitions, are you only establishing a network for just finding a job? What about learning? What about building a network, which can be your safety network when you try to engage and continue educating yourself? What about trying to find out strategies? What about benchmarking? So again, finding a job is one thing, but I think when you go to network and it's all what if you're just focusing on finding a job, you go ahead and do that. You're either gonna get it or not get it. But again, are you planning a long-term relationship? And that's what I wanna advise your
Yeah.
audience is when you
Right.
approach conferences and exhibitions. Everybody, by the way, comes to the conference and exhibition with one hat on. Get to know everybody because everybody's looking for a job everywhere, right?
Yeah.
But the idea is you can actually plant your value in people's head because when there is a
Right.
job, then they come running after you. How do you
Yes.
actually plant that seed in your target head,
Prospects, or yeah.
right? That's very important, and I think that's what I want to allude to is that the amount of conferences and exhibitions that we have, you don't have to restrict yourself to one industry. You can actually go to a different number of industries or competencies. There's a lot of conferences out there, and some of it are competency focused, transformation, strategy, and innovation, and whatnot, which can apply to multiple conferences. And there's some conference focused, right? Real estate,
Right.
oil and gas, Gulf food, dental conferences, healthcare, and whatnot. So you can always try to benchmark yourself by trialing these free access conferences and get in there, try to practice, and also ask for a job. Yes, ask
Great.
for a vacancy. Yes, but again, try to see what else can you do to kind of provide
Yes.
value and be that value added talent to them.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely, Mazen. Exactly. This is the point. This is my answer to Nora in this case. Like, look at the value that you're going to deliver. You can't just go there, knock on their door, like say, "Hey, I'm looking for a job." You're not doing any kind of thing, right? What You're not different than anyone there who's looking for a job. Try to establish this trust relationship, and how we can do that by definitely demonstrating what value and you can add. But what value can you add depends on exactly how you understood their problem. So first of all, that's why we have to initiate this conversation with this human being. If I had a chance to discover, like, hey, I can help them do this by doing this and this after I understood my challenge out there, that's great. You can demonstrate how you can add value if they can have on board someone like you. And in case like you don't see that opportunity, don't just try to push yourself, be a pushy person, like, hey, hire me, or hey, I'm looking for a job. Can you help me? Don't be that person and retain your value. So that's why first of all, you can plant the seed of building your network. This make these people trust you, find you like you are useful to them at some point. Then later, if there is an opportunity, they will definitely come back to you. They'll say like, "Hey, Noura was someone who had added value to us in the past, and I believe definitely she can help us here. She will be a great fit if they have the opportunity." But you can't force them to put the opportunity anywhere at any time here. That was really lovely, Mazen, and this is really interesting tip that you have shared with us here when it comes to building rapport and networking with professionals in the job market. Guys, please make sure that you follow Mazen. It's I mean, like he's an amazing guy when it comes, and he would definitely more than happy to help you, especially if you are in the health industry, you have expertise in the health market. You can discuss and share a lot of thoughtful idea with Mazen. He's the encyclopedia of healthcare and health technologies here in Dubai and in the MENA region. I've been had a chance to work with Mazen, and like he was always my reference when it comes to work, and especially I'm talking about personal development here. I mean, I just told you guys he's my mentor, so I don't have to hide this.
If you allow me, I have a couple of points. So the Rajesh said, recipient sometimes behaves weird, right?
Right.
Recipient to your. So again, don't judge the response. So if you come to a person in a conference and you are engaging them in conversation, you're not there to judge their response. What you can do is you tweak your approach to improve people's response, because people by nature do not act weird. They will be curious. So the way
Right.
you carry the conversation will make sure that you'll probably be able to reduce negative responses and increase and enhance positive engagement. Right. Number
We have
two, there
another
was
question. Yeah, concentration on connections are more important or skills? That's a very interesting question.
absolutely in this region, and across the globe, connections is number one priority. The more network you have, the better. Most of your job will come through 85% or 90%, according to research, will come out of networking. But skills
Mm.
is very important. Doesn't mean that you have to choose one over the other. No, networking will enhance your skills. So networking will enhance your communication skills, your dialogue skills, your negotiation skills, your concentration skills, your negative feedback skills. So somebody you talk to, like Haitham, I say, "Oh, Haitham, how are you? I like the way you dress up." And Haitham was like, "Well, look weird at me." So okay, maybe I shouldn't start like that. Maybe I should say, "Hey, Haitham, I like the way you do your posts on LinkedIn." Maybe that will sit nicely
Right.
with him. So I have
Right.
to analyze my approach as I unfold people's behaviors and
Right.
people's psyche. So it's very important. Connections is very important. Okay, and skills are also important, but they are two in one, not one separate than the other.
Yeah. 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 Unfortunately, I lost the chat here. If you can read something, Mazen, on your
Yes.
side.
So there was something saying, I think, asking for a job and making the sales pitch immediately in the first meet will never be fruitful for long-term
Yes.
networking. Absolutely, absolutely, and that maybe you can establish a rapport, establish that relationship, get an anchor, get to
Right.
actually. I'm not a salesperson. I enjoy building relationships, and that's what I really enjoy. If the
Right.
sales comes afterwards, fair enough. But for me, the relationship sits first, and then the sales will come. Yes, absolutely. Some people would actually, you can work with some target clients that you can come in with a sales pitch first. They'll say
Right.
no, and then you can continue building relationship. But you have to understand your clients, whether you
Right.
want to bring in the sales pitch first, or you have a very good relationship with them, a concrete relationship with them, then that brings the sales pitch. Or if you don't have no relationship, you probably need to build the relationship, and then comes the sales. There's another question. You want me to ask?
Yeah. Yeah. Please.
So Sheridan says, "Yes, I agree that we need to help each other because experience shows it is not just providing opportunities, but also elevate the morale of people looking for jobs. Let's help
Right.
together without expecting anything back." You're absolutely
Right.
right. There is a
Right.
saying in Arabic: "Do good deeds and throw it in the sea." Don't
I like it.
expect. اعمل
Right.
الخير وارميه في البحر. That's what
صح
they say.
صحيح.
So
Right.
don't expect. Do it because you're passionate. You have to be passionate about
Yes.
relationships or about the industry that you work with, about learning. You're passionate about something, about socializing, about about getting to know people.
Right.
You have to
Right.
have a passion that drives your connection.
Yeah, yeah, I love this. I love this, Mason. I really appreciate everyone who have just contributed also to share their thoughts, ideas, and questions here. Mazen, this was a really thoughtful and fruitful meeting we just had talked about here, which is the networking part and how we can leverage events and exhibitions, which is the place that everyone will be there, right? Everyone, they're all talking about business. These are decision makers out there. These are hiring managers out there discussing business, and you are entering their sea, you are entering their realm, and you're really engaging with them. And this is where the first thing that I talk about when it comes to personal branding is presentability, the way you present yourself and how you make yourself visible in their eyes. Like, yes, this is someone who would deliver value. Before you drop or throw your CV or throw your pitch about your business, just try to build rapport with these human beings after all, and try to build that trust. Let them feel like they are connected. Be interested to be interesting. This is the first thing that you need to do. Throwing that job offer or throwing that CV or that business pitch would not help you when you start a conversation with them. I still have my chat blinking, but nothing is appearing. Unfortunately, I really feel bad for this. If there's another question that probably we have missed,
I think there's a lot of thanks to you, Haitham, for a
all right,
great
cool.
moderation and content. But
I'm
thank you.
happy for this. Okay, yeah, I love that, man. At least we helped someone here. Probably we changed their thoughts. We add some more value. So thank you very much, Mazen. Guys, don't forget you can reach out Mazen again. If you can find him on LinkedIn, Mazen Gather, you can find him out there. And for me, of course, you know that here I am. This is me, Haytham Salman. You can find me on LinkedIn and on YouTube. Until then, I wish you a wonderful evening. If you have still more thoughts or more ideas you would love to discuss and talk about, you can share that with me directly in my direct message with me directly, Haytham Salman, or you want to ask Mazen, please connect with him and you can share a question. We will definitely be more than happy to answer that. I hope this session was fruitful and helpful. Thank you, Mazen.
Thank you, Haitham. I'd love to be on your platform any other time. So if you want me back, I'm more than happy. Really appreciate
Yes,
this
of course. Why
opportunity.
not, man?
And
Why not,
I
man?
is always glad to be with an innovative and entrepreneurial spirit. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mazen. Until then, guys, thank you very much. I wish you a wonderful evening. Take care. See you later. Bye.